Hey, I'm Hans and welcome back to Blue Collar Blockchain. So today's video is entitled, Your Bank Doesn't Have Your Money. So let me tell you a story. Last summer, I had a company vehicle I bought from my company, and then later on I sold it. And the people I sold it to banked at a major US bank. We'll call them Bank of Blank. So when I went into the bank, this large national bank, I said, may I please have my $15,000 in cash from your bank? I'll take it over to my bank and deposit it. So they said, I'm sorry, we don't have that much money in our bank. Well, $15,000 is a lot to me. It may not be to them, but the problem is they don't have your money. And our ATM cards, we can withdraw maybe a limit of $1,000 a day, something like that. But that's a problem. It's a problem for me. So I said, well, I'll just go home and maybe I'll come back tomorrow. And they said, well, we'll have some money tomorrow. We can give you your money partially in hundreds and partially in 20s. And I said, I don't think I want to do that, carry a box of money around. So I went home and I called several other locations for this bank. No one had $15,000 in the bank. I had to order it. If you want a large sum of cash for a down payment on a house or to buy a car or for an emergency, you have to order your money from the bank. In fact, you can get an Amazon package delivered faster than you can get your money out of your bank. I think this is a problem. So I started doing some research. Well, what about FDIC? Well, FDIC, the Federal Depositors Insurance Corporation, they are supposed to insure your deposits, right? Well, I guess so, up to $250,000. But here's the problem. They don't have enough cash on hand to give everyone their money back if they need their money in a pinch. In fact, the FDIC only holds about 2% or less of the money they need to supply their obligations. So if there's a crazy event happening and people freak out and want their money, you're not going to be able to get your money out of the bank unless you have $1,000 or less. You may not even get that. A few months ago, the Canadian truckers were causing a ruckus up in Canada, and their federal government decided to freeze their bank accounts. Right? Hey, you may not like the Canadian truckers. You may not like conservative ideas and all the things they're standing for. But I guarantee you this. If you believe something else, and guys who don't believe with you are in power in the government, it can and it could happen to you. So think about that. If we don't stand for everyone's rights, then you're not standing for your own rights. If the federal government can disallow you from having access to your own money in your own bank, that should make you think a little bit. So think about that. There's ways to get around the banking system. A lot of people want to hold gold or cash or silver in their home, but there's some security risks in doing that. It's not a bad idea, but if your house gets robbed, what's going to happen? And how do you prove it was in there, right? That could be a problem as well. You can hold your cash or valuables in a vault somewhere, but if it's not your vault, it may not be your money. There's a company in California who had a vault company, some vaults set up for people to put their private belongings. People put money and gold and all kind of personal things in there. And the federal government came in one day and said, hey, we think a couple of you guys had some illegal money in these vaults, and we're taking all of it. And you had to prove to the federal government that your money was your money and you got it fairly. Now that's a violation of our Constitution. It's their duty to prove you're a criminal, not your duty to prove you're not. So there's a lot of problems with our banking system, as I'm illustrating today. One solution for this is to take some or all of your savings and get it out of the banking system. Now, cryptocurrencies may be volatile, but at least you can have access to your own money. As long as you take your Bitcoin, your crypto off an exchange and put it into a wallet, no one can get it. no one can censor it, and if you want it, you get to have it. So we can talk about that more in a later video, but think about this and do your own research. Don't trust me, look it up. Try it. Your bank doesn't have your money. Sleep on that for a bit.